This game is okay. The problem with it is there's not really many other games like it. It bases its entire formula around the Nemesis system, which basically gives you the whole incentive to play the game once you beat everything, once you finished everything. I currently have about 124 hours in it on my Steam account, and I still can't stop going back to it. Now, was it a chore to get through the first time? Yeah, most definitely. Almost the entire intro segment is basically Talion not knowing what to do again. Being a sequel to Shadow of Mordor should kinda let you confide in that you played the last game. But it does this great AAA thing where it teaches you how to play the game no matter what. There's no tutorial skipping, there's nothing like that. So you have to painstakingly go through this overly mundane tutorial that teaches you how to press WASD, which I'm sure is everyone else's favorite part of any game ever, right? But these are some things that I have a problem with in the game. The story is fine, but Talion is a dull character. What happens to him is interesting, but him just being a killing machine that fights just to fight, but doesn't exactly enjoy fighting, but at the same time does it just because it's the only option, has revenge enough to kill these thousands and thousands of orcs, and has distaste for basically like any sort of violence and only used violence because that's how his wife's father would have recognized their marriage. Oh, you guys didn't know that? Talion isn't a fighter. Talion is only the Ranger of Gondor because of his wife. If Talion did not rise through the ranks of Gondor, then Talion wouldn't be able to marry his wife and have a kid with her. That being said, his wife's father recognized this and basically made Talion become a ranger, this killing machine, in order to gain the honor of marrying his daughter. That's all fine and good. I understand his motivations, but what kind of guy is he? The most we get during the game are just these small parts. He thinks Celebrimbor's a friend just cause who wouldn't bond with a man that legitimately has his fate tied to Talion. This, of course, ends in Celebrimbor betraying Talion, all that. It makes you pissed as a player because you're just like, what the fuck? The only real personality we see of Talion is tied to Celebrimbor himself. Once he becomes the Ring Wraith, or basically the pseudo Nazgul, he still selflessly fights for the world, but he doesn't seem very bothered by it anymore at this point. I'm not sure how many years have passed since him dying and recognizing that he's dead, tied to Celebrimbor at the first game, have passed since now. I knew the Shadow Wars took place for years, but he ended up falling anyways. But, at least this game isn't like Final Fantasy and actually making the story about Talion, the main character. I know I just talked about how dull he is, but I'd rather play as Talion than, I don't know, a more modern take on Lord of the Rings, like, I don't know, fucking Baranor. That DLC is okay, it just, I don't know, it just has so many fucking add-ons that you have to get and all that shit. If you play that mode on Gravewalker, oh my god, you just die every single time, and you have to restart the entire game. It's not like Talion, either way. So since I commented on that, what about Ethereal? I didn't finish it. I thought it was boring. I don't like Ethereal. I hate her. She's only there for exposition. She bosses Talion around when he's literally the savior of the world. Until he isn't. She is entitled to everything, it feels like. And Celebrimbor chose her too, so that's kind of why I don't... basically, Talion proved them wrong. But anyways, I don't mean to jump back and forth so much, but there's another problem. Your orcs don't automatically get changed to the same level as new orcs coming in. Say you haven't really played Minas Morgul since like the first 10 hours of the game or whatever, or until you beat the Shadow Wars. Your orcs will be level like 56, 57, 58, but when you come back as Talion on level 81, 82, 83, all the orcs automatically that come in new automatically go to level 88, 87, 85. And if you try to defend the siege, you will lose the capital. Not only because a lot of your 50 level orcs, 60 level orcs are a lot more vulnerable to a lot more things than a level 80 orc, but also because level 80 orcs usually have resistance to every single type of thing. Some are resistant to fire, some poison, some cursed, against stealth, against executions, enraged by everything. So your tiny level 50 orc can't really compete with a level 80 orc. Well, lastni, why can't you just lose the siege and just get at these new orcs that come in? Because you still have the 20 other level 50 orcs. Now, sure, you could spend the time finding each and every single available orc, assign them as your bodyguard, summoning all your bodyguards at once, and then going one by one. Kill this guy, kill this guy, kill this guy, kill this guy, kill this guy. Or you can just advance die and see your entire previous army just fall to pieces. What will you have after 500 years? Think, Talion. You could just advance time and then just restart the whole thing over again with people that are actually appropriate to your level. Or you just come back when you leveled up to level 100 or something. I think that's the cap anyways. But either way, if you don't like excruciatingly long tutorials that take place for about like 3 hours, I wouldn't recommend it. If you're willing to go through it, then keep Bruise alive. Not many voice actors from Finding Nemo play in this game, so keep them on your team as much as you can. Special thank you to my patrons, Baka and Prophet. See you. Bye.
If I go Kaio, will you feel similar? If I go Kaio.